Hi guys. So I'm going to do this in a couple parts, and you guys get to see my first editing foray. But for the most of part of this here at the beginning, the plan is I am going to set you guys down, put this sheet mulch bed in, plant. It's been raining part of the day here and is supposed to rain some more. So it's a good time to get it in. That, and I just got tagged. So I've got to get all this stuff taken care of and out of sight. It will still be here, they just won't see it and hopefully won't care. So anyway, I'm going to try and get that done. As you can see, it's a little windy, so hopefully this works okay. And then, so I'm going to start a different video and you guys can watch me in high speed. I'm hoping to try and do a voiceover and let you guys know what I'm doing, and then talk a little bit about how I decided what to plant so that I can get the most value out of this space, because I am finding that I'm having to rethink what I would normally plant with the histamine intolerance issues. So that's the plan. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, and I'm back. What you see here, I'm putting cardboard down, and then I will be grabbing some branches that I limbed up off of this mulberry tree that's up in the top corner, and some grapevine from out by the shed, and comfrey from right there behind me. And on top of that, I will layer a few pieces of really old wood that we had from the deck demo. And when I say really old, that deck was 20 years old, so there's not chemicals and stuff in it. And then compost from the old compost pile that we also tore down at the same time. And then a bag of, it was actually potting soil. I had gotten to do more of the self-wicking tubs. And as you guys know from a previous video, I have chosen not to continue with the self-wicking tubs. They are not really working well for me. So I am going back to my sheet mulch beds, which I have done over the years. It is a type of permaculture lasagna bed. And out there where I'm at right now, I actually dug down 18 inches and did a true lasagna bed 10 years ago. So I have done that before. Generally speaking, I don't think it's worth the effort put into digging the trench. And I get just as good of results from sheet mulch beds within a year or so. And this is the compost. So we might have more peach trees volunteer out of this. I'm not sure. There are still plenty of peach pits in it. And then I'll put the soil, and then you'll see me planting. But what I would like to talk to you guys about is what I am planting. So, as you saw earlier, it is kohlrabi, rutabagas, blue curly leaf kale, and marigolds. The marigolds, I am literally just trying to use up seed packets that I have. I went through my seed collection this spring when I was going to be planting and realized I have got some very old seed. So I'm kind of trying to use some of that up, but then I also want to plant stuff that I can actually eat with the histamine intolerance. Things you'll notice that I'm not planting, although you may have noticed in a previous video that I do have a tomato plant, but I'm not planting any more tomatoes. I also have beans that were requested by my daughter, and I'm not planting any more beans either, mainly because she is going to be busy with school and not able to pick them. They didn't do well, so when we dump the other bins, if she wants more beans planted, I'll probably plant some for her, but I don't actually eat those. So in the vein of plant what you eat and eat what you plant, I am not planting a bunch of things that do not work with the histamine intolerance that I've been dealing with. So How does that affect? A lot of people have issues with salicylates, oxalates, lectins, and I've also seen some people have issues with latex. So I will get more in depth on this next week, but for my purposes, there are lectins in nightshade vegetables, which are your eggplant, peppers, tomatoes, potatoes, and those are all things I have typically grown in the past other than the eggplant, which I knew I was sensitive to 17 years ago. So, but the other three I have actually planted over the years and done really well with. And you often see those in other people's gardens. The difference is I am not actually able to eat those and not react to them well. They cause itching, they cause hives in some cases. Eggplant, I don't want to get out of bed for 2 days, so I'm not going to plant those. And like I said, those are things I will get into in the next video. But those are all nightshade family plants. And what I'm finding is that seems to actually be a lectin issue for a lot of people. So I'm going to try and cut out lectins in my diet more, be more mindful of that, and see if I can actually get things like tomatoes back by peeling and taking out the seeds. The rutabagas, kohlrabi, and kale are all in the brassica family. I do really well with leafy greens, and those are all things I can have. If you have oxalate issues, you'll want to avoid the curly leaf kales and opt for something like a dinosaur kale, or I believe lancenato kale is okay if you have oxalate issues, but the curlier the kale is, the more oxalates they seem to have. If you have issues with salicylates, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, you would want to avoid things like cucumbers. I don't think I have issues with salicylates, or sals is what they often get called for short. But because of our growing season here in northern Indiana, I'm not planting them.